Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion edition. This is going to be a DVD and Blu-ray update for the month of April 2019. We're going to start off with some DVDs, and these are just ones that films that we've reviewed on the channel through Screeners, and they've ended up getting quotes. And this was one I did. This is a World War II drama based on a true story, and there's a quote on here from me. And I like to kind of collect these. Obviously, if we get a quote on them, I've got a bit of a collection here. Somewhat narcissistic, some might say, but there it is. But this one was actually done by Aaran from Screenstars, and he's got a whole host of quotes. So Aaran was clearly very quotable in this movie, and this is like a World War II, I believe, foreign language film with a slip. And there you go. That is Invincible. Paul from Buckaroobanzai channel reviewed Alien Predator. Obviously, this is an Asylum kind of rip-off of the new Predator movie when this came out, and it's full-on action, according to Paul. There you go. That is one from him. And then we've got Lisa from Lisa Loves channel. She actually did a review of a couple of films of her son Isaac, so a couple of kids' movies. And I mean, Isaac was a huge fan of this one. Gave it a 9 out of 10. So he adored this movie, and this has got a couple of quotes from Isaac, which is here, and then Lisa did this quote here. So there's actually a few different quotes from those two. So please check out all of those guys on their own channels. The links are in the description box. But Lisa and Isaac also reviewed, I think it was Lisa actually reviewed this one. I'm not 100% sure now I'm saying that. This one, I think it was called it was called something else. It was Hollywood, something, Doggone Hollywood or something like that. And there's a couple of quotes from Lisa and Isaac on here. So now we'll move on to some Blu-rays. The first one I'll show you is this Ash vs Evil Dead Season 1 American set. Now with this cool lenticular sleeve. I'm not actually the biggest fan of the Ash vs Evil Dead series. It's okay. I think it's very different from the tone from the original two movies, and I don't really like the idea of you know, the way it went to a certain degree of the character of Ash. He's very different from the first two films, and they're my two favourites. But it's okay, it's watchable, but I'm not going to go crazy for it. I don't really collect it. It was just cheap on eBay. Next up was just a regular Blu-ray, and I have to give a shout out to Jambo Shango, who turned me onto this one on Twitter. So this is the Howard the Duck, or Howard, a New Breed of Hero, as it was once known, on the 101 Films Black Label. This is kind of a limited edition set which comes with a booklet, and I've got a feeling this is the kind of first real Blu-ray release from the UK. You can get a German Steelbook, but it's kind of deleted now, but I don't have that one. But this was a nice kind of limited edition set. Obviously my one's sealed, but it's yeah, it's a pretty nice kind of set, so thank you to Jambo Shango for turning me onto this one, because I would have missed it had he not. But staying with the Marvel, this is one of the kind of the new releases from Zavvi. I know in Best Buy they had this kind of release, and there's the other kind of two Captain America films coming out on kind of a 4K Steelbook. This one, the First Avenger, obviously. Very similar artwork to a previous Zavvi Steelbook, so I maybe would have liked to have seen a different kind of artwork, but there it is. Not that I have a 4K player, but I'm a bit of a, you know, if there's a release coming out, I normally will get it, and if it's a Steelbook and that. So that is the Captain America First Avenger. I also got a Blufans Steelbook. This one, the Black Panther. I only actually have the original I only have the one copy of Black Panther, which might be enough for some people, but I'm a bit of a Marvel sucker when it comes to stuff like this. And the Blufans is a Chinese company, and they always have the proper art, like put the proper poster art on their Steelbooks. So I like to get them. They also do the ones with the kind of like the ones with the kind of the card sleeves. But I've gone off of them, to be honest with you. I prefer to just have the actual artwork, because it's just like another £50–60 for a bit of cardboard, and you know, as long as I've got the you know, if I can get some of these with the kind of the artwork on the Steelbook, I'm happy. But this one was limited to 700 pieces. I actually got this with some kind of box, like with a Black Panther in it. I'm not really fussed about that, to be honest with you, but I don't intend to get the other versions of it. I just wanted this one. So that is the Black Panther Blufans Blu-ray Steelbook. Next up, we have the Spartacus Gods of the Arena. This was the prequel series that came out, and this is a German steelbook. I actually really like this. It's a shorter season now. They made this because the star of the original Spartacus TV show had cancer, I think it was, well, just after he made their first series. So they made a prequel series that obviously didn't involve the original Andy Whitfield, the original star, in hopes of it to get better, but sadly he passed away. But this in itself is a really good, a really good series. Actually, probably my favourite outside of the original series, and it's mostly because it's got John Hannah in it, who Batiatus, who was the kind of the owner of the Gladiator School. And I think it was a fantastic sort of little mini series. But that's the steelbook. You can only get season 1 and this series on the steelbook. But the other series had the other latest series had a different actor, and they weren't as good if you ask me. Next up, we're going to show you Bumblebee. This is the Italian version of the steelbook. So a couple of things to say with this one. This one is the only one that had just the Blu-ray. I don't have a 4K player. I don't have a 3D player, so I'm not interested in those discs if I can help it. I just wanted this steelbook because I liked the artwork. And there is a second steelbook which is out in the UK, but I preferred this artwork. However, I don't know how well you'll see this, but it looks like the American version of this steelbook. The yellow is much brighter. It's like a canary yellow, whilst this version is like a kind of more of a mustard colour. And I must say I was a little bit disappointed because the whole point of this being a yellow steelbook, it's the same colour as the Bumblebee car, and this one is kind of like a dull mustard colour compared to the American steelbook, which is bright yellow. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, if I'm honest. So this is the Italian version. I'm assuming this is what the European versions are going to be like. But if anyone does have the bright yellow kind of colour from another European country, please do let me know. So before we get on to the Arnies, I do have a Sylvester Stallone steelbook. This one, Demolition Man, science fiction movie, obviously starring Wesley Snipes as well as Sylvester Stallone, a German steelbook. This one is, I was lucky to get this for quite cheap on eBay, but it goes for a reasonable amount of money. I was kind of just lucked into this one, to be honest with you, and got it for really a pretty decent price, so I was quite happy with this. I'm much more of an Arnie fan over a Stallone fan, but I do like this movie, and I was quite happy to pick it up for less than £20, so that was pretty good. And it's in decent nick as well with a J card. And then we're going to have an Arnie and a Stallone movie, although it's mainly Stallone. This is going to segue us into my Arnie steelbooks. So the original Expendables movie, I already had the second one. This is the first movie, which only has a very, very quick cameo by Arnie. I think I prefer the second movie out of all three of them, because obviously it's kind of like, you've got Van Damme in that one as well. And this is the British version, 3-disc collector's set. Sadly, I couldn't get the price sticker off this one. And this one, again, was pretty cheap. So that leads me into the first proper Arnie movie, and that is Commando. And I mean, you can get 2 Commando steelbooks. You can get the director's cut, but I much prefer the artwork to this one. And this was originally a Zavvi exclusive. Now I did get this one pre-owned, but it's in pretty decent nick, and it's got the kind of the card, not exactly a J card, because doesn't go all the way up, but yeah, it's a nice steelbook which is kind of got embossed writing on it, and a fabulous pose from Mr. Schwarzenegger himself, and it absolutely looks great, and a big fan of that one. Next up we have the Terminator. Now there are a number of Terminator steelbooks that are available. This is the only one I got. I'm probably going to try and get all of Arnie's movies that you can get on steelbook. I've already got the second film, and I'm not precious about which kind of like maybe one I got, but this was again a Zavvi release. I think I got this on eBay, and it does have a very small. I don't know how well that will show up, but a kind of small little dent, but it's nothing too bad. I can kind of live with it. But yeah, pretty ominous shot there of Arnie's mug, and that is the original Terminator. Next up, we're going to talk about Collateral Damage. A film I feel that kind of, you almost forget that Arnold Schwarzenegger made, because it was kind of later in his kind of action movie career, and one that not a lot of people talk about. And I know some people aren't a big fan of this one. I actually don't mind it, if I'm honest. It's a German Steelbook, and I think it's the only country to have this movie on Steelbook. Now, Germany quite often has their back print actually printed on the actual Steelbook itself, rather than the J card. And I mean, I would actually like to get End of Days, which is one of my favourite Arnie movies, on a Steelbook. But you can't even get it on Blu-ray outside of America, which is frustrating. I don't really want to get too many Region A DVD or Blu-rays, because I'm not sure my player isn't actually officially a multi-region one, although it does play a few. So there you go, that is Collateral Damage anyway. Now I've waffled on. So there you go, Collateral Damage on a Blu-ray Steelbook. Next up, we're going to talk Conan the Barbarian. Actually got a couple of things to say about this Steelbook, but first of all, look at that artwork. Now, I remember this movie coming out on Steelbook, and I didn't get it when it came out, because I don't think I was really collecting Steelbooks at that point, and I've kind of always regretted it. Now, a couple of things with this one. I actually ordered this off the CEX website. I used to work for CEX once upon a time, and I know that it's a bit of a gamble when you kind of order online there, because in regards to Steelbooks, there's no way they grade them. So you could have a new, mint one sealed up, and you could have one which is absolutely battered, and there is no way of you seeing what the condition is like. And I ordered it, and it came out, and it was just battered. It was just bent and kind of, scratches all over it. It was missing the kind of the wraparound J card bit. And I was a bit, no, I'm not having that. So I took it back and got refunded and ordered a second one, and then this one turned up, which was a lot better condition. It does have a small little scrape on the top corner here, but I can kind of live with that. But it's a really good condition one. So, there you go. And it does have the actual J card. The other thing I wanted to talk about this movie is, I don't know really whether this counts as a Marvel film. And the reason why I say that is when this film was produced, Marvel Comics actually had the rights to Conan the Barbarian. Now, it wasn't a property that they invented, obviously. It was one that they had purchased, but when this movie came out, it was owned by Marvel. So they haven't had anything to do with the production of the movie. If you look at the production credits and everything like that, so I would say it doesn't count, but there is kind of a slither of me that maybe thinks, oh, it kind of sort of counts. And it's the same thing with Red Sonja, exactly the same. Not that that has a Steelbook, but there you go. But it's fantastic artwork. You can't get Conan the Destroyer on a singular Steelbook, only on a double pack with a bit of crappy art, to be honest with you. So I may get that at one point, but I'm hoping they'll release it as a separate Steelbook. And then finally, the last one I want to show you is The Last Action Hero. Now, this Steelbook is a UK exclusive. I don't think it has been released anywhere outside of the UK, which means its resale value is pretty high, because this is long since deleted now. Now, I'm in two minds about the actual design of the Steelbook, to be honest with you. It's meant to be like a movie ticket. That's the idea of the Steelbook. But I've got to say, it's one of the most boring looking Steelbooks I think I've ever seen. I understand the concept of it, and it's kind of a good idea to a certain degree, but it's kind of boring, if I'm honest. So, yeah, kind of a little bit of a mixed, but I wanted to get it, and again, I managed to pick this up for, a pretty decent price for a good condition second-hand version. So yeah, that is it. Not the biggest update ever, but I didn't think it would be this month. So there you go. What did you think? What is your favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger Steelbook? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.